In the last half hour, white women, except Cher, get shamed at Women's March Summit at Boise. Women's March, 3,000 attendees vow to speak louder and resist. In the last hour, Norfolk, Virginia. Women's March, a photographic album getting to the bottom of it, discussing adderall on campus into action, pop-up politics in LA. In the last 2 hours, Women's March's organizers hope to keep building momentum. Cher joins intersectional activists to stir crowds in Las Vegas. Women's March in Knoxville draws 14K protesters. Women's March promotes Democratic Party, sabotages opposition to Trump. Protesters flood Cambridge Common for Women's March. Women's March 2018 tests lasting power of movement in the last 4 hours. Kate Hudson and Mollie Sims lead statement dresses at SAG Awards. The missed opportunities of the Women's March. Heath Ledger's most memorable moments. White women, except Cher, get shamed at Women's March Anniversary Summit. Here are the winners at the 24th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards. Cher speaks to Las Vegas Women's Rally. Las Vegas rally marks anniversary of Women's March against Trump. Women's March, what women want, woke and united. Women march against Trump. Thousands rally at Las Vegas. Women's March Halsey stuns NYC. Women's March with powerful poem about abuse. Stars weigh in on the Women's March at SAG Awards 2018. Moments from the Women's March. Halsey delivers powerful poem at Women's March about sexual abuse. Video on the red carpet. Is one blackout enough? Why Marisa Tomei, 53, is the ultimate ageless beauty icon. New Year brings new focus for Minnesota. Women's March students take to the streets in Los Angeles. Women's March, the most powerful scenes from the 2018 Women's March. How Natalie Portman shielded herself from sexual terrorism. Video. Thousands take part in Women's Marches across Europe in the last 6 hours. Tiny NS Women's March that charmed the world doubled in size. The unofficial dress code at the SAG Awards had a feminist message. Thousands protest in Women's Marches around the world. DACA on mind of rally goers in Las Vegas as shutdown negotiations continue. Thousands turn out for Women's March rally in Las Vegas. Why pink is the most empowering color on the SAG Awards red carpet. Ruth Bader Ginsburg's comments on Me Too are honestly perfect. Women's March focuses on black women. Watch Staten Island women stand up and fight back at Women's March 2018. Women's March 2018, the resistance continues. Why pink is the most empowering color on the SAG Awards red carpet. Natalie Portman felt sexual terrorism at 13. Scarlett Johansson takes aim at James Franco. Alison Brie defends brother-in-law James Franco at SAG Awards. Buffalo joins nationwide Women's March movement. Scarlett Johansson blasts James Franco at Women's March. Thousands in Vancouver march for women's rights. Here's why governor leads Women's March in Morristown earlier today. Signs of creative resistance at the 2018 Women's March. Cher, if you want a job done right, get a woman. Scarlett Johansson calls out James Franco at Women's March. The SAG Awards are like a casting call for the sexiest gowns of the season. Locals march to show women matter. 2000s march in street. Pete. Women's March Sandy Cove, NS. Women's March doubles in size to 32 people. Women's March pushes Trump opposition at Capitol. World's tiniest Women's March doubles in size at Women's Marches. A spotlight on missing and murdered Indigenous women. Cher, you want a job done right, get a woman. The Women's March's rally in Las Vegas sets the tone for 2018 weekend of Women's Marches. Promises continued momentum toward equality at 2nd Street. Petersburg Women's March, 5,000. Focus on what we can do. Las Vegas Women's March pivots from feminist protest to politics. Las Vegas Women's March draws thousands. Women's Marches rally thousands at events across Michigan. Millions turn out for second day of Women's March. The Women's March 1 year later, through the eyes of an organizer. Hollywood stars protest for Me Too movement at LA Women's March. In the last 8 hours, thousands gather for street. Petersburg Women's March. Grand Rapids Women's March brings hundreds downtown.